Yo, my people, it's your boy Clouds P. Welcome back to another episode of the season's pod. As you can see, I got the normal lot. Liam. Adnan. Whoa, everyone, what's wrong? Is the mood a bit down today or something? What's happening?
You guys know my mood is.
So basically, prior to actually beginning our recording, Adnan was sitting here, he brought this big chair over, and Liam was sat here, but due to some issues, they've had to switch over, and Adnan's not too happy. He's saying his back is where his bum's supposed to be, and he's not too happy about it.
Yeah. But, listen, there's a lot of behind the scenes drama that goes on behind this podcast.
It looks all pretty on camera, innit, when we're actually recording, but
we actually deep down there's some hatred. There's some hatred going on.
But one thing's for sure though, these seats wouldn't be possible without Sequoia Lounge. So big shout out to our sponsor, Sequoia Lounge, based in Clapham South. All of their details down below. If you want alcohol, shisha, if you want some good vibes, if you want some good music,
food,
minty
drink, banging minty, you know where to go, Sequoia Lounge. And if you're lucky, you might even catch us there. So big shout out to Sequoia Lounge. And I think we're ready.
Yes.
Ready? Boys ready?
Yes,
I think so.
ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, brilliant. As you don't know, something amazing happened this week. Absolutely brilliant. FIFA 21 came out. So,
I mean, it's subjective. It's subjective.
2 out of the 3 of us bought FIFA. So your input is kind of invalid.
Okay. Well,
but you can also.
You guys can talk. I don't mind.
So FIFA 21 is out. We're going to talk upon it, but from like my first initial impression, brilliant. Especially in comparison to FIFA 20, I think there's a difference, and I absolutely love it.
It's alright.
Remember, you're not a big FIFA player. This is the first FIFA you've bought in how many years?
Xbox 360 days.
Xbox 360
Oh,
years.
yeah.
You was kind of forced to buy it though. Like, we kind of pressured you into getting it.
Not we. You did.
Yeah,
A big waste of 59.
No, come on, don't say that. Bro.
It is a waste of 59. I agree with you. Yeah, I do.
Wow. Listen, I love it, and I've been banging it quite a bit.
No, listen, I have been banging it though.
Bro, it's wicked.
It's alright.
It's wicked. Listen, for anyone that played FIFA 20 and played FIFA 21, there's a massive difference. The gameplay's better, the passing is much improved, the runs are a lot better, especially if you're using a top level striker. Ultimate Team's lit. We're not going to talk about my placement games because that went really,
You don't want to know about mine.
really poorly. But since then we've improved. And all in all, I'd give the game a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Well, that's a high judgment.
High, isn't it? Especially considering that FIFA 20 wasn't the greatest FIFA to come out.
I'd give that a 4. It's the worst FIFA I've ever played.
What, 20?
FIFA 20, the worst.
Listen,
absolute worst.
you're waiting for PS5 to get FIFA,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Once you play FIFA 20, especially on the next gen console, you'll love it. I promise you.
21.
21, sorry. You'll love it.
Alright.
For someone that wasn't used to playing FIFA, would you say that you've played a few games of FIFA 20? Can you feel the difference?
Yeah, 100%.
Because obviously you went like a massive FIFA 20.
Listen, FIFA 20 was...
Yeah, a lot of people.
Your house...
Yeah, a lot of
It
people
was
hate
jarring
FIFA
still.
20 still.
Like, 21's not bad. I actually enjoyed playing it out, which I thought I'd never ever say in my entire life of owning a console. Bearing in mind we bought a console because of lockdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's alright still, it's not bad. Am I happy I got it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's alright, it passes time when I'm
Yeah.
not busy, which is barely never.
Yeah, exactly.
However, I know it's a full podcast, but we're more of a Call of Duty, I'd say. I think it's safe to say we're more of a Call of Duty kind of guy.
Warzone,
Yeah, especially Warzone.
Real shooters.
Yeah.
When Warzone came about, especially that initial period, like during lockdown, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
Shoot man up like Tory Lanez.
Oh, that's controversial. That's a controversial comment.
we were brazy, but no, like I said, all in all, FIFA 21 is a much improved game from 20. I'm slightly addicted to it. I can't lie. Pro Clubs was lit. We played Pro Clubs for the first time yesterday. No, yesterday.
All I'm saying is my guy was like Jack Grealish, just saying. As a 10.
Explain to me, how was your first couple of games of Pro Clubs? I wouldn't know.
No, it was good. It was how would you explain it? I was very surprised by Liam, I can't lie.
Yeah.
For someone that's basically never plays FIFA,
never
to then
tried Pro Clubs.
play,
Yeah.
bro, I'm pretty sure he was our best player. Could you imagine? Like, His pro was actually wicked as well.
He
Like,
scored a couple goals.
yeah, he scored
Scored
goals.
2 bangers and I assisted that.
Yeah, he got hella assists.
Like,
He was playing in the 10,
in the
innit?
game.
Wow.
He was playing in the 10. Nah, it was sick.
How many of you were there for the Pro Clubs?
No, it was 3 of us.
Okay, that's not bad.
It was 3 of us. No, it was wicked. So, that actually puts us on to, we are going to start streaming FIFA Pro Clubs mainly. Obviously, you'll join in when you get the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
But until then, we will be playing on the PlayStation 4, FIFA 21 Pro Clubs. That will be streaming. How we're gonna, I think the way we're gonna do it is Twitch, and then footage from Twitch will then get uploaded on YouTube.
Yep.
So you get the best of both worlds, and then obviously with YouTube you're gonna get the best bits, whereas Twitch you're just gonna get a full-blown stream.
Yeah.
But
Bare shenanigans.
bare shenanigans, hella shenanigans. We've been talking about FIFA for a while, you
Worst
know?
thing is, especially like we're gonna stream FIFA, but
Yeah.
their possibilities are endless. You can play any game.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, even Warzone. The thing is with Warzone for us though, we kind of play late night, innit? And obviously in certain households making a lot of noise will get you in a lot of trouble. So you know we just got to play our cards right.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, no, we will be streaming. We are gonna go into that streaming.
Oh, I tell you what.
Soon.
I don't want to get the viewers' hopes up, but what is the possibility of getting a Seasons Among Us video?
Very high. I've literally just jumped on it a few days ago, and it's brilliant. The game's
I feel
brilliant.
like it could be. I think they'd enjoy it. I think that'd be.
Yeah, 100%.
Seeing Liam as an imposter would be hilarious.
Listen, sitting here, that out there, having some shisha, chilling, and I see Leandro and Adnan playing it, I'm thinking, what the fuck? I'm there watching them, and I'm just like,
Oh, man.
there's red guy, and there's black guy, and the blue guy, and the green guy, and I'm thinking, they're just running around, bro.
Yeah.
They was like, oh yeah, I died. I'm like, how the fuck you died?
No, we got to make it happen. We'll make it happen. We'll definitely make it happen. We are going to get into the gaming space a little bit more, especially because of the whole lockdown uncertainty. So we're gonna have to kill time somehow. So that will be something we'll be looking into. We do already have a couple esports players that we want to bring onto the team. Some wicked ones. So look out for that. Look out for that. But let's leave that for now. Let's leave the gaming. The gaming podcast coming soon. Seasons. What would we call it?
Gaming podcast.
Yeah, we might have a gaming podcast, innit? Depending on the popularity of it. You know what's crazy? The people that click on this video and expecting the maddest football conversation are going to listen to the first 15-20 minutes. What are you not talking about? What are you not on about, man?
Listen, we have a life outside of football.
Yeah, we do.
And we like to game. That's like, aside from football, that's like our most
100%
fun thing to do.
100%. But let's talk about the Nations League. I think it's only right. We're going to talk about international football for a bit. Adnan hates it.
I hate all international football except the major tournaments. So waste of time.
Obviously, that was the only football we had during that period. You know what's crazy? Before you go crazy, you already look like you've got a burning topic to talk about. I wasn't the biggest fan of this international break. I think teams had 3 international games. That's a lot of football within 2 week span, and then having to play on the weekends. Club football could potentially suffer this weekend. Could potentially suffer. But go on, talk about your point.
No, I just want to say the only games I watched was France, Portugal fully, and I watched the majority of Germany, Switzerland.
Yeah.
And those were good games, regardless of France, Portugal being 0-0. Like that's international football is competitive. It's like that's the only plus side you get from international football. That's what I got to say.
No, 100%. Guys, bear with me. I'm going to be on my phone because I've written down a couple notes in regards to it. So, first one we're going to talk about was the England-Belgium game. So England came out 2-1 victors against Belgium.
I don't know how.
Listen, I'm going to be completely honest. Grealish didn't start. I don't even think he came off the bench, did he?
No.
In this current game, literally today.
And Grealish didn't come off the bench again today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Grealish, we had a wicked podcast talking about Grealish. It was actually, I know we've only released 2, but the second one was our
best one.
Yeah, our best one by a country mile.
Thank you, Grealish.
And big shout out to the Villa fans. Villa fans went brazy for us, you know. Villa fans obviously clicked and watched it. They had a lot of good things to say. The comments were kind of lit, and we appreciate you. And you know what? We take, obviously everyone already appreciates Grealish quite a bit, but even so, after listening or reading what Villa fans had to say about Grealish, it kind of puts into perspective the type of player he is.
Yeah.
Because they love him. And you know how we was talking about him potentially moving club, etc. Everyone was like, no, he's not leaving. Sign a new contract. He's there for the long run, etc., etc. So he's obviously like what flipping Ronaldo is to Portugal. That's what Grealish is to Villatonians. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, obviously Grealish didn't come off the bench. England beat Belgium 2-1. Wasn't the greatest game on the planet. You know what I mean? Lukaku scoring again. Lukaku's on a hot streak today against who did they play? Denmark? No. England played Denmark. Belgium played. Bear with me. I'll get out for you guys now. Belgium played Iceland. Lukaku scored 2 goals. So I think in terms of the Belgium team, if he's not top goal scorer all time, he's definitely close.
I think he is. I think he already is.
Yeah. So he's going crazy. England did win that game. Wasn't a great game. A player that's constantly receiving a lot of bad press on Twitter is Mount, who scored in that game. I think he scored the winner, if I'm not mistaken.
Against Belgium.
And then again today against Denmark. I didn't watch the game. I was watching the Portugal-Croatia game.
According to the radio today, apparently he was one of the best players on the pitch.
And he's constant. Everyone's saying that there's this massive Mount agenda. Lampard loves Mount. Southgate's always playing Mount. But not to back him, because I know it's going to sound a bit biased, especially on my end or Adnan's end, because we're Chelsea fans. Not to back him or anything, but do you know what I mean? I don't understand the bad press. Do you know what I mean? I do think Grealish is better, granted.
100%.
But maybe in that certain system, Mount favours that system more. I don't know. Why is Mount receiving all this bad press?
It's funny you say that on the radio. Apparently he played class. When I went on Twitter, everyone said he played awful.
Exactly.
It's contrasting. It's contrasting.
You know what I mean?
And especially a lot of people are like, oh, he's not as creative. He wasn't creative today. Grealish would have offered you this and that. It's mad. But at the end of the day, Mount must be doing something right. Like players in Chelsea who are getting benched for him aren't. But same thing as for when he's in England.
Do you think it is a tad bit of favouritism though, from Lampard's end or Southgate's end, that Mount's continuously playing?
Even if it is, it can't be his fault. He doesn't deserve the bad press. It's because they favour him.
Yeah.
What's he gonna say? Oh, everyone seems to be favouring me. I'm not gonna play because everyone else wants Grealish to play or whatever.
He must be doing something right.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's not gonna just not play. If the manager puts you on the team sheet, you're gonna play. Simple as that. He doesn't deserve that hate whatsoever.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like I said, I don't understand it. Once again, I do think if you're going to play, for example, Mount in the number 10 role, I'm not quite sure how they lined up today against Denmark. I'll check now quickly on the lineups. But Mount... Okay, so Mount played in that front three, so they played a front three of Rashford, Kane and Mount. So, a similar role to the one he plays at Chelsea at times out wide. Do you know what I mean? I don't think, like I said, I don't think he's better than Grealish, for example, especially not in the number 10 role. But for him to be playing out of position and starting games, for example, at left wing or at right wing, he's got to be doing something better than the other players.
That's why they were saying that he's the 4th choice as a left winger for you lot.
Yeah.
But he's starting England in that position. It's mad.
It's crazy.
It's actually mad.
It is mad. It is mad. And I do feel sorry for Mount because of the bad press. But at the end of the day, he's playing regularly. He's starting. He can't complain. He's
on top of that, if we're being truthfully, brutally honest, he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's
that's what I wanted to say.
He hasn't put a foot wrong whatsoever.
Do you know what? I think people just expect a lot of creativity from Mount, and in truth, he probably isn't as creative as people want him to be. Do you know what I mean? And because they're seeing that, they're thinking, "What? You're playing Mount with no creativity when you've got Grealish on the bench. Sancho came on today.
Apparently he was poor.
Really?
Apparently he was poor.
Do you think it's because of the few weeks off due to?
I don't know. But apparently a lot of people are saying that he's not the same player that he was. Apparently.
Yeah.
But he's been alright since the Bundesliga started, though. It might have just been, you know how him, Abraham, and Chilwell were all at the party, and maybe he just didn't have that game. You know what I mean? That match day fitness required. But England disappointing, losing again. Well, not again, but lost today against Denmark to a penalty.
First time at home in 31 games.
Wow.
Or second time.
Before, just to get back on Mount as well. I would say, being a Chelsea fan myself, it has stemmed from Chelsea fans originally, because they wanted a certain player to play, and they was like, oh yeah, because he's Lampard's son, this and that. So Chelsea fans, you're not exempt saying, oh, stop the bad press, because a lot of the time it was self-inflicted. Yeah, you guys, if you check every Twitter page every time he starts, it's the same thing. So
I think we just, you know what it is, if we compare Mount's performances, you know how last week we had the Grealish show?
Yeah.
I think this week might be the Mount show. If we was to talk about Mount's performances, like you said, I don't think he's done a lot wrong. I don't think he's. Do you know what I mean? Once again, he's not that massively creative player. We are maybe expecting too much from him. I think that kind of is the case. Even at Chelsea, because he's kind of like, not for lack of a better term, he's kind of like our star boy, isn't it? Like came through the ranks. You know what I mean? Playing first team football, playing regularly.
For me, your star boy would have been Hudson-Odoi, but
but that's the thing. Even Mount's benching. Hudson-Odoi's not even getting a look in.
I know.
Lampard rather play Mount out wide than Hudson-Odoi, and Hudson-Odoi's an out-and-out winger.
And the funny thing is, who's getting all the interest from clubs?
Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
It's mad. It is crazy. It is crazy. But once again, listen, you lot can carry on inflicting your hate agenda on Mount. Listen, he's still gonna play. You know what I mean? He's starting for England. He's starting for Chelsea. He's a young player. I think he's only gonna get better. And I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet.
No way.
I think we'd be stupid to say
No
he
way.
reached his ceiling. You know what I mean? But listen, Mount, carry on doing your thing. As for England not looking great. Obviously, win against Belgium was whatever. Loss against Denmark. Harry Maguire shambles today.
Everyone's loving off England though, saying that they weren't great in that, but before the game, we see something special.
Yeah, but that's every year. Every year's the same thing with England, though, isn't it? Like, what Harry Maguire? However, how much was he? 70 million or 80 million?
World's most expensive defender. I'm gonna say it again. World's most expensive defender.
You can't defend.
And you can't defend.
Shambles. He got a red card today. However, something you might be happy to hear. Reece James apparently played a blinder.
That's good.
Linked up very well with Mount.
Yeah.
So obviously that Chelsea link working well. He did actually. He got red near the end though, innit, for protests and.
So I think the whistle went and he was sent over to the ref, and then I think the ref just sent him sort of straight away.
Yeah.
But with Maguire, it was 2 separate yellows. The first one, basically, they're both stupid challenges.
Yeah.
The penalty that Kyle Walker conceded apparently shouldn't have been a penalty. It was very soft. But
I don't think VAR is active for these nations.
No, it's not.
And you can tell like it's weird because I was watching the Belgium game, like at the start, the referees were making late decisions as if there was VAR to rely on, and like it's weird if there's no VAR in place. If you think there's an offside, you're supposed to flag it straight away. But they're playing as if the VAR protocols are in place, and it's confusing a lot of people. And it's just it looks bad. It looks bad in the referee's point of view.
Yeah.
It's really they need to sort that out.
I'm surprised they haven't even got it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Especially with all the top leagues in Europe all have it.
And if you want the Nations League to be like
as close to
or like you want it to be like respected or something like that, you'd think they'd have VAR.
So do you look rate the Nations League though as a whole?
No.
It's better than friendlies.
It's better than the friendlies,
bro. I'm pretty sure when it comes to friendlies, and even with the Nations League, I kind of noticed it. Sometimes, what's mad? You touched upon the France-Portugal game, which was a good game, it was a competitive game. Yeah. Obviously, it ended 0-0. But I do think there was a tad bit of like holding back by certain players.
If there was something to play for,
it would have been
a little bit more
exactly.
risk. Yeah.
Like it just felt a bit cautious at times. You know what I mean? You don't want to get injured, especially with club football back on the weekend.
It was a game of high quality. Like Danilo and William were colossal in midfield for Portugal. Then you have Rabiot and anchoring off Kante and Pogba, and it was just fun to watch. It was just exciting thing to watch.
And you know what's crazy as well? Now that we're on the topic of France v Portugal, like Pepe at like 30, however old,
aged like fine wine.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like can't get past him. Ruben Diaz once again. I think, especially under the wing of Guardiola, if Guardiola proper carves him into that perfect centre back, like
could be the second coming of a prime PK.
Wow, that's
potentially. I'm not saying it will, but
like Portugal's team's looking really good. France will always be competitive. Like remember we saw that picture on Twitter. I think you sent it into the Twitter.
Yeah,
group
I was talking.
What was it? Camavinga, Aouar, Mbappe, Ferland Mendy. Bro, imagine.
Ricardo. They're gonna. I personally think they're gonna run football for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Unless like another country like a golden generation. I don't think Germany are gonna do anything special. Spain don't look too great.
Spain actually lost to Ukraine 1-0. Like I was watching snippets of the game, and I know it's mad to say it, innit? But like Spain were not creating anything. Imagine saying that a Spanish team couldn't create chances against Ukraine.
To have Xabi Alonso, Iniesta, Busquets, David Silva, all those type of players. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is, man. I do see, because one of my questions to you lot was, obviously with Portugal also won today 3-0. France won today 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. Netherlands drew 1-1 to Italy
Yep.
as well. Who, with the Euros next year now, obviously Euro 2020 being played in 21, who do you lot think are favourites to win the Euros? Or what countries do you think are going to, you know what I mean, compete for it?
For me, I think it's France's trophy to lose. Current World Cup holders. However, I do feel like Portugal could pose a big threat to them. They have, if not as good a squad depth as France, so they could be up there. I'm not too convinced on Germany. I'm not convinced on England.
Did you watch the 3-3?
Yeah, I watched.
What did you think
of it? It was fun. However, Switzerland, they're like that prickly side. You're better than them, but you can never underestimate them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like if you even lose concentration for a little bit, they'll punish you, kind of thing. And was their striker Seferovic? He caused them problems all night long. But then again, Rudiger was defending you, and I know firsthand how bad Rudiger can be. And then Shaqiri looked like dangerous. Xhaka had a great midfield performance against Cruz.
It's weird, you know when Xhaka goes into international duty,
It's a different player.
Completely different player, you know.
That's why we recruited him. I think was it World Cup?
He had a wicked. He had
a blind. We signed him, and
then he's very good. But yeah, Havertz. It's like Havertz and Werner had a great game as well.
Yeah.
They were constantly involved. It's like everything went through them. Gnabry's like their goal scorer. Like whenever they needed to get out of spot of trouble, Gnabry's just whatever. Their front line is good.
They've got the quality.
Their defending is awful. It's just bad.
Yeah. I saw Neuer get chipped on a mad thing.
You see, like Rudiger was supposed to clear up the line. And his leg was where his brain was. It didn't make no sense.
Yeah. His leg was where his brain was.
It's mad.
What do you think? Euros? Did you think are favourites?
I think it's France's 100%. Portugal will challenge. If Belgium can pattern up, Belgium will challenge.
Yeah, Belgium. I forgot about Belgium. They can do it. If Hazard's fit though, he's got until 2021.
Don't worry, this guy's done it. Don't worry about him. He's not coming.
That's a mad statement, you know.
Listen, Real Madrid, what you did to my boy, I will never forgive. I will never forgive.
I don't think it's just on Real Madrid.
It is because he's missed more game time in Real Madrid than he has 7 years at Chelsea.
Why is he overweight?
He's overweight at Chelsea. It's just him.
It's not an excuse.
But like, it's not
you
even.
Can't get away with stuff like that in Spain.
Yeah, no, but it's not even that. Like, it's not him being overweight wasn't the cause of his injuries.
No,
like
still,
injuries.
It's still a big thing.
Imagine he's like had an ankle injury he's been gone for majority of the year. Like obviously you're gonna lose weight if you can't run on it, if you can't do any exercise.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You should be working out at home.
How old is Hazard?
29, 28?
29, 20. Okay, so
his prime.
He's still got. Because I was gonna say, is it not time for like Belgium to start introducing? However, I think Belgium's golden generation is done now, isn't it?
It is.
It was them. Like the Hazards, the Witzels, the
that
Kevin
World Cup was close. They were close. They got the semi-final, and then
I don't think they've got much coming out of. Like,
if they played Croatia, if they were in England's bracket, they would have got to the final. How mad is that?
I know, it's crazy. But in terms of favourites for the Euros, I think it's going to be. You know what's crazy? Obviously, I'm Portuguese, so it might sound a bit biased, because they are current Euro holders, and because they are current Nations League holders, I'd probably have to say Portugal. Same way, if France were Euro winners and Nations League holders, I'd say France. Another reason why I also say this is because France is in the same group as Portugal for the Nations League, and Portugal's actually top of that league. So they've got exactly the same stats, except Portugal's goal difference is +4. So if we're going in terms of like current statistics and like just current affairs, I'd probably say it's Portugal's to lose, but I do think it's a 2-horse race between the two. However, because it's a cup competition, you only need to win you don't even need to win games to win that trophy.
I don't think Portugal won many games in the lead up.
I think the only game they won was
the final.
No, it was the final, and it was against Wales. They beat Wales 2-0.
Oh yeah.
That was the only 2 games. So in theory, if we look at a good defensive side at international level, I'm not gonna lie, I can't really think of any at the moment. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a good defensive side with some relatively strong attackers, you could go far. You know what I mean? Look at Wales in that Euro campaign. They had Bale, and that kind of pushed them however long. Obviously, they then came across Portugal, who went on to win it. But when you're looking at like in terms like quality squads, Portugal and France are so ahead. Like Ronaldo, obviously caught COVID, so hopefully gets well soon. Pretty sure he'll fight that well.
He was on the balcony watching.
Yeah. Without Ronaldo today, Jota came in place for him at left wing. He scored 2 goals. He had a blinder. Do you know what I mean? Not missing Ronaldo, and they're playing the way they're playing, you know what I mean? You're automatically a threat. You've got a centre back who's recently gone to City, so he's obviously only going to get better. Like you said, Pepe's aging like fine wine. However, I think what him and Ronaldo said was, come World Cup, I think the next World Cup's the last one they'll play. So he's still got 2 more competitions with thing in him. Right back position, you're spoiled for choice. Cancelo, Nelson Semedo,
Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric, and you've got someone else. Leandro, help me.
Pereira.
And Ricardo Pereira, who's injured. At left back, you've got Guerrero. So he, you know what I mean, he plays for Dortmund. You've got the 2 holding midfielders in Danilo, recently gone to PSG. William, who's been amazing since
Best midfielder I've ever seen live.
You heard it here first. Against Barcelona as well.
Yeah, Busquets, Rakitic played against him and he bossed them.
Exactly. So you got Bruno Fernandes playing in front of them, obviously at Manchester United. Amazing player. And then you just got a front 3 of Bernardo Silva, one of the better players in the Premier League. Cristiano Ronaldo, you got Andre Silva, one of the...
João Felix,
you know what I mean? Jota, Guedes. The Portugal team stretches far, you know what I mean? And then if you're going to compare...
Renato Sanchez, how can you forget about
Renato Sanchez?
The kid.
Today he came on for what? How long did he come on for? 10 minutes? 10, 15 minutes?
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, 5, 10 minutes. And he was making... remember Sanchez of old, where he used to make them mad bursting runs, and then Portugal's got a very good squad. But then obviously you look at teams like France, and France you don't need to talk about too much. World Cup winners, of course. The Mbappes, the Girouds, Griezmann brought back the Hotline Bling celebration today.
Yeah, I think he's happier playing for France than that.
100%. I think it's changing a bit though. I do think under Koeman he is finding himself a little bit. Obviously Kante, Pogba, Rabiot, Martial, defenders as well, Varane, Upamecano, Laporte,
Zuma could come in.
Listen, I think in terms of squad depth, in terms of quality of squad, they're top 2. I do think, I know you're not going to kill me for saying that. I do think England do stand a bit of a chance, because obviously it is a cup competition, and you know what I mean. Like I said,
listen, everyone's got a chance. You know,
exactly.
I mean? They will get.
I'm not getting my hopes like I did in that year 2018. That year it felt like fate. It's coming home. Weather was brilliant. Yeah. Everyone. Like, to what you see the UK is now, that summer everyone was happy, and this is London, the screw-faced capital. Everyone was smiling, and yeah, I'm not getting my hopes about that again.
Yeah, I do think they're in contention. I think Netherlands. I don't know. I don't think the squad depth is there. There. Italy are still building. They have decent players, but I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah, you never know. You give them a few years.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. That. A good defensive team. Maybe Italy, you know, Italy's always been known for that very defensive
football.
football.
They can do the 3 at the back way better than England can.
Exactly. So they're always front runners. Obviously, you got Belgium, especially if Lukaku's firing on all cylinders. Hazard,
good.
You know what I mean?
They got good squad.
So I do, but like I said, I do think. To be fair, if we get another France-Portugal final, I think the whole footballing world will be happy. I don't think anyone will complain.
Imagine that, like, if they could get the revenge or Portugal return, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. I don't think anyone will complain if it's a France-Portugal final, in my personal opinion. But
I wouldn't mind either, wouldn't
I don't know. Is there any much more to talk about international football, except for the fact that it wasn't too amazing?
I just can't wait for.
Oh yeah, Ireland. What you got to say about that, mate?
Shambles. Countries in the shambles, isn't it? From sport to everything.
Why is it struggling so much in the football on the?
No quality.
No quality.
Literally no quality.
Yeah.
Nothing there.
And don't you have a couple of players that play in England and everything?
Prem.
Wow.
Championship players.
Wow.
Is how much of that is down to management, do you think? Or do you think it's just the quality's not there?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything. I don't know.
Because you could play a league game with those players and you could probably fight for a point, probably steal the 3 points.
I mean, then you got no one that's really creative, no one that's got that fast. They're all like big, strong.
Yeah.
Can't really move.
And when you play these
probably in the pub after
the
game with a few Guinnesses.
Yeah, especially with these international countries, you're getting like the best players from all around the world. You play them and you're just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't match up. It doesn't like.
We ain't got that fight in us, I think, as well that we did from the last few years, like when we was in the Euros.
Do you think it's because they know they don't have the qualities to compete?
Probably.
Because they know they're not good enough. They're thinking, it's whatever. Ireland's known as like a fighting nation.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
A very.
And the worrying thing is as well, looking through players that are coming through. There's only one kid coming through who's top, and if England don't try and snatch him, is that Kevin Zeffi. That's 15 years old, playing for Shamrock Rovers, starting some games. Baller. A few years time will definitely go into the first team of Ireland, but yeah, I think he's Ireland through and through, but I know England will try and find a way. And that with Karamaka Dembele as well, Scottish born, played for Scotland and England in the youth internationals.
I think that's one thing England are good at doing though, is tapping up all the youth players.
Bro, they took
that France is the same thing.
Talk about Grealish. They took Grealish from us.
Yeah.
Declan Rice.
That's the only thing I have on Grealish.
Is that he didn't?
He left us.
Yeah.
He left us. Cool, fair enough. He's not Irish, but I think his grandfather or something was Irish, and he was playing through the youth with us. And then I think he played one game with us, I think, and then I think England
tapped him up.
I don't know what it is. Whenever it comes to swapping nations, if you were going from say Ireland to England, you'll get it. Declan Rice, exact same thing. But for Benzema, you can't do it.
It's because he's played at so it's, I think it's up until 21s you can play and then switch. But once you played an official,
but Declan Rice played in the official game. So has Jack Grealish.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And Benzema's asked to be released from the French.
Why don't they just let him free? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's weird. I have no idea as to why they haven't.
Okay, cool. This is actually a good question. I thought the whole international football topic was.
I know you can ask, and I agree. Yes.
So wait.
Yeah.
So do you think the reason why Giroud has so many accolades in that French national team because of the fact that Benzema was dropped?
Yeah.
Because would Benzema be number one striker for France?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he would be.
Yeah.
Like I think Olivier Giroud's on his way to becoming the top goal scorer.
Yeah.
For France. Yeah, no, but Benzema, if he was number, he wouldn't be playing as much. It's weird.
I think
Or
probably
Deschamps.
more
I think
goals than
Deschamps.
Giroud.
Is Giroud is Deschamps' mount.
Yeah. That's true. That's actually so true. Because if you think about it, Giroud has hardly played this season. Giroud starts for France, bro. You know what I mean?
Last
Giroud's
World
there,
Cup,
man.
Griezmann was the main striker. He managed to fit Giroud. That's what I'm saying. He made it work.
And so have we come to the conclusion that every manager has that little
soft player
for someone?
Of course.
Wow.
100%.
Crazy.
100%. Apart from Roy Keane as manager.
Roy Keane not have soft.
No, he has a soft for one player, Billy Gilmore. I promise you, he loves him.
How do you know?
Because it was against Liverpool in the FA Cup, and he was like, was it not a pundit, but like when they analysed, it was a yeah, and then he was like, this kid's got it all. He's got it all. I remember the first time I was in bed watching him on TV on Match of the Day, and I just stood up, like I sat up, like this kid's got it all. He's got to keep his head straight.
But do you know why? Because he just does all the basics.
Why do you think why is De Bruyne so good?
Because
he does the basics, but no one's perfect, but pretty much.
It is pretty perfect.
Yeah,
it is perfect.
Like, do you know what it is as well? And one thing I've noticed, and especially I was watching the Portugal-France game. One thing I've noticed about Pogba is we all know Pogba has the quality. There's no denying it. But sometimes it's the extra touch. It's the extra little
pizzazz.
If he was to just play the ball maybe a little bit quicker, do you know what I mean? Why would you always start?
At Juventus, he used to do that.
Exactly. But why is it? Is it because United are lackluster and they need someone to just
go crazy?
Yeah, go crazy, and he's that guy.
He just had enough. He just wants to.
To be fair, when I've been unmotivated, like while I'm playing football kind of thing, I do the same thing. I just like get a little bit like a day's go. I get it. I'm not obviously I wouldn't know on a professional stage, but like I understand why that would happen.
Yeah. 100%.
Speaking of Pogba, he actually in the French camp and all that. Apparently, he was going around talking with all the other French players, saying how much he would love to go to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I heard about
he and in the press as well. He said that his dream is to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah. And like haven't given him a contract, even though there was talks like a couple months back saying it was almost done, that he was about to sign.
Do you think Real Madrid would take Pogba though?
I think
of current state.
Personally,
I don't know.
I've had an argument with a friend about this. Yeah, I think there's like a couple of midfielders he'll walk into in this one. And I think Real Madrid is one of them.
Really?
Personally, yes.
Fair point.
You see Paul Pogba, and you already have a great midfield. Like if you got Casemiro protecting the defence, why not take Pogba?
Who would you replace though in that Real Madrid midfield?
I'd say Modric.
Really?
I think Kroos has still got years in him. I think Modric is like he's on his day top grade, man. It's like up and down.
See, the thing is, I do think Pogba would fit into that Real Madrid midfield. I just don't know how they'd pattern it. That's my only issue.
No, but that's a good select, bro. Zidane, he likes Pogba.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%.
It will work.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because we are talking about kind of like transfer speculations. Haaland to Chelsea. Anyone ready
Well,
for
I
that?
tell you what.
No.
When I texted you that,
Yeah.
Fabrizio Romano after said, "Oh yeah, if you guys listen to my podcast, I didn't say anything about Chelsea and blah blah blah, this and that." But there's clips of him saying he would have loved to play with Frank Lampard. So I don't know. Make of that what you will. But he doesn't fit into our team. It's great wishful thinking, but
It is wishful thinking. But from what I've read, obviously I take everything with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
From what I've read, Chelsea have 2 targets for the summer window. I don't think it was the January, it was the summer. It was Haaland and someone else. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. Well, for this summer, just passed or the next
No,
one?
the next one.
Okay.
There was 2, but Haaland's there, and that they're willing to pay the 62, 63 million release clause.
I tell you what,
I think any club would
Yeah,
pay that.
100%.
I'll pay more.
I tell you
He
what,
also bagged a hat-trick for Norway on international duty. He's just going
Let's
crazy.
say, I tell you what, all those loans that Odegaard, the world are good. He looks like an adult
Yeah.
now. Like he's like a big man.
Yeah.
But
Norway's got a decent squad
Yeah.
though. They've got a decent
I
squad.
think bold statement. I think they're going to be the Iceland of 2020.
Wow.
I've
You
said
calling
it.
it from now?
Yeah, I've said it.
That's mad.
Fair play.
They're gonna be the Iceland, like just that side you don't want to play because they're like you don't know how
Listen,
they're gonna.
all I know is
Underdog.
Haaland is a problem.
It's wishful thinking, but if he ever came to Chelsea,
It is wishful thinking. I can't lie.
I'll start that day, the day he signs. I'll start that podcast in a white t-shirt, just
Why white t-shirt?
or topless. Fuck it. I'll do it topless. Fuck it.
That's like when Gary Lineker said he would wear pants, isn't it? On
Yeah,
match of day if Leicester won the
Yeah,
league.
topless. Yeah,
Wow.
you guys will get topless for 2 minutes. Not 10 minutes, 2 minutes.
If you was to pick one team for Haaland to go into right now in the Premier, who would it be?
Prem.
United need him. Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea
What
would
would
need
be
him.
the best team for him?
I think right
best
now
team?
United could use him.
Probably
most.
United.
Yeah.
Maybe City. City are crying for
They're
a strike, and
lacking a
I'm pretty
striker.
sure he'd play in that system.
Yeah,
Probably Manchester clubs, to be honest.
Liverpool.
What about, I was about to say, what about Liverpool?
Yeah, Firmino, you can sort definitely.
Yeah, but remember what Liverpool expect from Firmino. I don't know if Haaland could provide that. You know, they want Firmino
Yeah,
to.
but it would be something different.
It would be something
remember,
different.
they're not gonna just play the same.
Especially
system
when you have
right?
Thiago.
Right.
If you imagine he came next year and Thiago's pinging the ball to Haaland,
Yeah.
it would be.
He's also back in training as well,
Yeah.
recovered from COVID. So
See that thing where he
shout out
asked
to
the
him.
ball for his chest and the guy misplaced the pass and he just killed that ball with the side of his ankle.
He's different. There's certain players on the planet that are just different.
Watch that video back in your own time. Yeah, when he did that, he dropped the ball perfect, didn't move, didn't drop anything. I tell you what, that guy's got a touch of an angel.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, not something else.
No, that's Tammy Abraham.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
No words.
Oh,
Let's get back on track.
yeah, let's get back on track. With that being said, Premier League's back this weekend. But before we talk about the, because okay, I'm going to be completely honest to you viewers, yeah. With the international break, it's harder to pattern current topics because the international break's not the funnest thing on the planet, especially if it's not massively competitive. So we kind of we weren't lacking for topics, but we didn't have the blockbuster topics like we did the last week and
Yeah,
the week before.
it's not every day you see United lose 6-1.
Yeah, exactly. So, however, there was something, in my eyes, quite surprising that came of it this week. It was the whole, was it the bigger picture, whatever it's called?
The project Big Picture.
So this is now Liam's segue. So he's going to kind of explain the whole situation.
Just to clarify, it's actually been
declined. Yeah,
declined.
it got declined. Yeah, today, innit? They declined it today.
Yeah, today. So it was there was a meeting today, and apparently all 20 Premier League clubs agreed to basically. not have it.
However, there was some.
But the 2 clubs that actually, I wouldn't say proposed, but kind of came up with the idea, so to speak, would be United and was it
Liverpool,
Liverpool
The
and
two
United.
teams who needed funds in the transfer market. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
they were like the guys spearheading the whole big picture, sort of.
So if you don't know, I'll just run through it. I've tried to remember, but it's so much. So you got Premier League being reduced to 18 clubs, which I think is absolute bollocks. So you're going to lose 2
It's
teams.
been 20 for how many years? And they
Yeah,
wanted to
it's
propose
just
it.
it's just ridiculous.
Remember, the Prem came in 92,
Something like that.
and
Yeah.
now after what, just under 20 years? Is it 20 years? Yeah.
More than that now.
8, 92, 8, 2000, 20,
Massive ban.
28 years.
So how,
Is that 28 years?
28, whatever it is, they want to change it. There's pros and cons to it. So they were saying like they'll get rid of the EFL Cup and they'll get rid of the Community Shield to
The Mickey Mouse trophies.
yes, and then so you lose what? Going back to the cutting down the 18 teams, you would lose 4 games already. Minus the EFL Cup plus Community Shield, depending on how far you get. Now this is the mad one. So special status for 9 longest serving clubs, which is the big 6, so like your Arsenal,
Of course.
your United, your
Yeah.
City and all that. And then add in Everton, West Ham and Southampton.
Mm.
Because they're the so-called longest serving. I don't know what your opinion is on that.
I think every team should get a fair shout. It should
Yeah,
be-
that's how it
be.
should be, exactly. Do you know what it is? And what F1 have introduced recently is like a spending cap, pretty much. You know how Mercedes, they say Mercedes always wins because they have the most money and they have the best car, etc. In the Prem, that happens as well. The best teams are the ones that have the most money. It's that easy. And if you now introduce like a whole loyalty scheme or whatever it is, you're already taken away from the lesser clubs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They already have a massive disadvantage. Now imagine adding this whole loyalty thing to already the big clubs. Like, how does that...
Now, could you say, for example, to who's the clubs that came up? Leeds, Fulham, and
West Brom.
West Brom.
Yeah.
They would have right now. They would have a say of what's going on, obviously, because they're in the
Yeah,
league,
they're in
right?
the Prem, yeah.
But if you was to go by the rule that, if this was ruled to go, this rule was to go ahead where only the big 6 plus West Ham and Southampton and all that was to make the decisions. Should they really have an input, bearing in mind that next year they could be down and won't be coming back up for 5 years
that
time?
doesn't make sense.
That's actually a good point.
Well, it's
That's
weird.
then I'm not saying I'm for it or against any of this, but I'm just
This
Yeah.
is playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. No, but it's weird though because all of this stuff, it just seems like, oh, let's give the power to the people who have the most money, like you said.
Yeah.
But then that just like what we pride the Premier League on is being the most competitive. So why are we sort of taking away that
Yeah,
competitive?
you take
edge?
away the competitiveness.
It doesn't
exactly.
make no sense at all. It's just it's being looked at from a business standpoint when it's
Exactly.
literally football. Every team
Exactly.
should have a say. They're
Exactly.
all footballing organisations. Don't belittle the other teams. It's as simple
Yeah.
as that.
yeah. So speaking of money, so then a good thing to come out of this would have been £250 million compensation straight down to the EFL, split between clubs in the EFL.
Okay.
That would have been good.
So basically, money. I think they would have removed the parachute money. So if you're relegated, you won't get
Yeah,
no money
yeah.
like that. But all the clubs that are down there would get 250 mil basically split
Yeah.
across them. Now, sounds great, but what I was thinking about, and actually what I heard, funny enough, again today on the radio, but I live in my car quite a bit, was a lot of these EFL owners, like if you look at the past, like Charlton's old owner Roland, who some other owners that are, who everyone loves money, but I can't think of the clubs off the top of my head. Some owners, say for example, I'm the owner of Grimsby Town, then they don't make a lot of money. If I get, say, 50 million, what was it, 250? Say I get 10 million, they could pocket that money and...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a club that did that in it, so it was like an Asian owner bought the club and then sold it to like an Asian company.
Wigan,
that thing.
Wigan. But
It was
that's
the
what
Wigan, yeah, it was the Wigan
whole
situation.
Wigan
If they're
thing.
gonna do that, then there should be like, let's say it happened. There should be a provision that it could only be used for the club purposes.
Yeah.
Owners can't
Yeah.
pocket the money and take
Yeah,
it
yeah,
away.
that's what I was saying. But that's another good thing, but could have been a
Yeah,
bad thing.
yeah, it could spiral out of control.
So that figure also represents the coronavirus financial bailout
Okay.
as well,
Alright. So it's
Um,
like an insurance, pretty much.
basically. But going on back onto the whole coronavirus thing as well, they were saying that it's like how do I explain it? Obviously, it's a bailout, but everyone's using this to kind of get away from the EFL bailout.
Okay.
So I don't know if you heard, on Thursday there'll be this Thursday. So this is going to be released by Friday.
Friday, yeah.
So
2 days time.
So if you're listening to this on Friday, so yesterday there would have been a meeting held between all EFL clubs and the EFL board to discuss what their bailout is. I don't know how or what or where the money's coming from. People think the government's going to do it. They're not going to do it because their argument is the Premier League's got enough money to do it, which I think should happen. But again, going back onto a Premier League side, why should they bail out? Why should they pay all their hard-earned cash down to the teams at the bottom?
Yeah.
What's your
Listen,
take on that?
You know what it is, yeah? I think you've got to look at it like this, yeah? The Prem make the majority of the money in football in this country.
Now let me pause you there. Where does 90% of the money go to
Isn't
that they earn?
Isn't it back into the clubs? Isn't it give it to the clubs?
Goes to their players.
Okay, yeah, to the players, yeah, fair enough. But listen, this brings it all back into the whole competitive edge thing. Like, listen, for you to have some sort of competition, yeah, you have to spread out the money. There's only so much money you can make in the Prem and keep it within the Prem without all the other leagues suffering. How many people do you know that go and watch League One, League Two, even sometimes Championship games?
A few. Not a lot.
Exactly.
Not a lot.
How else are they going to get that money? Listen, I do understand the whole thing where the Prem makes its money, the Championship makes its money, League One makes its money, whatever. But you can't compare League One money to Premier League money. And if Premier League have an extra however much, do you know what I mean, sitting on the side, why not give it back down? It's not like it's not being reinvested within the, you know what I mean, it's all a part of the FA, no? Do you know what I mean? Of the whatever it is, the EFL, you know what I mean? It's not like you're giving it to like the Bundesliga, for example.
Yeah.
It's still being kept within English football. Do you understand? Like, why not?
One thing I would say though, say as if like money was to be passed down, say as if like you said at Grimsby Town, now they've got all this surplus of money, but then another team like their rivals have a surplus of money, like now we're saying, oh, we're going to offer you X amount of money to come join us, we're going to offer you X amount of money. It's basically just going to...
So that was another thing. Obviously we all know money, some say it is, some it isn't, is killing the game of football.
How are you gonna choose to join? Like, oh, I can if I'm a Championship player, I can earn pretty much the same amount in League One, whatever kind of thing. Like, it sort of like belittles Championship maybe, or whatever. Like, it's just sort of like Premier League. We know the Football League is sort of goes down kind of thing, and you work your way up. But if all these teams have more money now, it's a level playing field. It might like be like, what the hell are we watching the Premier League for? What the hell are we watching Championship? I don't think that would happen, but it'd be like now players are gonna like, oh, I don't want to join this team, I don't want to join that team because like they're offering me this amount of money. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Because going back onto money and wages and stuff, I don't know if you've heard, like, I think it's is it the conference or the second conference, whatever it is. There's a player that just signed there. He's on $3,000 a week. In the Conference South.
Wow.
And then apparently league below, there's been a player signed as well, £1,500 a week.
Seriously? Wow. Well, shout outs to them, making their big money in them lower leagues.
Yeah.
But is that right though?
Listen, if you have the capabilities to pay, I don't see why not. Especially if, you know how, I think it was Billericay in it, they had all the ex-pros in that. Listen, if you've got the money and you can pay these players, because at the end of the day, your aim when you're in the lower leagues is to get into the bigger leagues. How else are you going to get into the big leagues? By getting better players.
Imagine they don't want to join the bigger leagues because they earn the same amount. You know what I mean?
Well, then that's
where the motivation.
Yeah, but that's exactly.
That's
That's completely down to the athlete. If the athlete wants to stay in the lower leagues and earn pretty much the same money, that's completely up to you.
Yeah.
I know what I'd prefer personally, but that's
I know,
subjective. You know
imagine it like more players will be like, no, I want to stay down the lower leagues.
Then it's completely up to them.
And that might cause a problem, kind of thing. Is there anything else in that big thing?
So there's two more. So this was, I don't know why, I was a bit confused with this one. The club who finishes 16th in the Premier League, so 18 teams, 16th place. The 16th place team would replace the 6th place Championship club in the EFL playoffs.
The 16th place what?
Oh, so the Prem team will replace the Champ team in the playoffs.
Pretty much.
Why don't they just have like a playoff? That's what they do in the Bundesliga and that, isn't it?
Oh.
Okay, it's a bit weird.
I know, yeah.
How would that wait? I'm still trying to wrap my head around this.
So the 16th placed team in the Premier League.
Okay, so let's say it's an 18 team in the Premier League.
So whoever finished second bottom.
So 17 and 18 would be relegated. 17, 18.
Yeah, 17, 18 go down.
And then 16 would play.
Play the 6th place.
So basically, the
Championship
Championship coming sixth will be worthless because you're going to get replaced by the Prem team.
So they don't play them, it's just replace, straight away replace.
No, so they'll play in the playoffs in place of that sixth place team.
Yeah. It'll be a playoff.
You know, if you come between third and
Yeah,
sixth,
yeah.
you've got to do playoffs.
So
See, I think
that 16th place team will play in the
playoffs.
It'll be a
Yeah.
playoff.
Championship playoffs.
So
Imagine-
basically, stay up, stay down. So
Imagine
basically,
just keep their Premier League team and play all of them.
That's exactly
but
it.
I think that
Exactly.
happens. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Scotland that happens?
It happens in Germany.
Oh,
Well, not in the playoff thing, but like they
Germany, yeah.
in Germany, I think they have 18 teams. The 16th team will play the whatever team in Germany, and then whoever wins.
But one
and-
team is significantly better than another.
Exactly, but that's the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then last thing, again about money, which was a positive. The Premier League would then commit 25% of future revenue to the EFL as well. So 25% of a season's earnings from the Premier League would go straight down to the EFL.
How much would that be though? Do we know?
I don't know.
Because
Not
25% of, for example, like 3 billion is a lot of money. So I don't know. Listen, I think from what I've heard, the rules do seem very favourable for the big six. Do you know what I mean? Well, for the big 9, if you include those 3
Yeah, but
teams.
they're not really big now.
Yeah. I just need to see the whole proposal in full, all the details, all of the logistical parts, and then kind of make a stronger conclusion in it. But as of right now, I'm not in favour. If I was to vote, I'm not in favour. Obviously, the Premier League clubs were not in favour also.
But that's where I don't think. I mean, especially with Liverpool and Man United, kind of basically coming up with the idea, putting the proposal together. Obviously, there is some hidden truths of to who actually agreed and who disagreed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All I know is this won't be this is going to be not the last. Do you know what it is?
They'll probably try and revamp it and try and make
That's
it
exactly
a bit more
what they're going to do. They're
accessible to every club.
They're going to go back to the draw board.
Yeah.
And they're going to go again. But the way it is, don't be surprised if there's going to be some under the table deals with the Premier League about any little. It could be they could take one rule and just, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So listen, it's football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
100%.
There's loads of under the table and little
Dodgy dealings.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So won't be too surprised. But another thing is not to do with the big picture, but what do you lot think about the pay-per-view Premier League that's not available to BT or Sky Sports?
Listen, I'm before you start. I know you had like a very. He even spoke off the podcast we was chatting about it. I'm going to be completely honest because I don't want to spend too much time on it, merely because that is ridiculous. I think that's absolutely stupid. You already pay a subscription fee for Sky, for BT Sport. A lot of people have both, already pay X amount of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This only favours the football clubs. I understand it's tough at the moment with the whole coronavirus thing, but it's also tough for the people. Bro, even some people don't have the money to even pay for that pay-per-view game because of the current situation. Do you understand? It's tough for everyone. I understand you lot have to make your money, but the people them have to make their money too, and some people are not making money. And you're potentially taking away some of the only enjoyment they have, which is watching football because football's now back. Do you understand? But yeah, that's my piece. I don't want to go speak too much about it because I do think it's ridiculous. But
You said pretty much 99% of what I was going to say. However, let's just say like a Newcastle, let's say Newcastle wanted to make money and it was all for pay-per-view thing. No one's going to buy it except probably a Newcastle fan.
Yeah.
So how are they going to even make the money?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like if someone pays £15 for a game, not many people are going to get it.
Yeah.
On top of that, it's going to raise illegal streams and people are going to do
Exactly. That's what I was going to touch upon as well. Yeah.
It's going to raise illegal
Listen,
streams.
if you then bring in a pay-per-view service, what's going to happen at the end of the
People are
day?
gonna find ways around
You're
it.
going to find a way around it. It's
They're gonna
that
lose
Well,
simple.
people
money.
already do. The people.
Yeah, exactly,
No.
exactly.
You're going to lose more money than what you aim to make anyway, because people are going to do that. Because if you're going to try and hoodwink and bamboozle people, shout out to Stephen A. Smith. Like they're just going to do the same thing to you, and they're going to find ways to watch the game without having to pay. So there's no point in even doing it. You might as well nix it. On top of that, the Premier League got so many like like appraisals and commendations for adding these games for people to watch, and it's made more people talk about the Premier League. It's made more people love at the moment. The fact that you're going to take it away is just going to make you look bad in the process. So it's such a bad idea. You shouldn't do it.
Going on to that point as well, what if, for example, so this is an idea Simon Jordan had regarding, you right there?
Yeah.
That Simon Jordan had for the Premier League, and it would be like a Premier League version of Netflix. So all games will be only shown through Premier League TV, for example.
Yeah.
So no more Sky Sports for football, no more BT Sports for football. You pay your subscription to PLTV, and it's $12.99 a month, and you get to choose what game you want to watch at what time, whether it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, the 12:30 kickoff, the 7:45 Friday night kickoff.
Yeah.
What would you think that would be best for?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
Listen, there's a pro and a con. Listen, if you just like the Premier League, brilliant, whatever. But remember, when you pay for the subscription service for Sky, BT Sport, you don't just get the Premier League. You get either the Bundesliga, you get either the French League, you get either the Portuguese League. Well, I'm not quite sure how it works right now, innit? But yeah, you get all of those added bonuses, you know what I mean? Whereas if you then subscribe for just the Premier League TV, you're only going to get Premier League football. So obviously, maybe I'm being a bit selfish, but for me that wouldn't be beneficial because I'd like to watch all the other leagues. So now I'm paying $12.99 a month for the Prem, and then an extra however much Sky is and however much BT is.
Yeah, but obviously the Sky and BT will need to reduce their monthly premium because they'll be losing.
That's another
Yeah, but wouldn't the Prem then lose money because most of the money they get is from
TV? Right?
But now the pro apparently is Premier League can do it all themselves, and they have a chance to make more money themselves from it.
I don't know. So at the end of the day, it's just a money making scheme.
Yeah, that's exactly. Listen, football's all about money nowadays.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it could work. But like you said, like you don't get the added bonuses of other leagues. On top of that, especially when
but Sky would still have all them, or BT,
But you still have
Premier
to pay
Sports
for that. But you'd have to pay for that on top of the
Yeah,
Premier League TV.
Yeah, no, you would.
I was about to say, because if you just take away the Premier League completely, then a lot of people buy, like say if you get Virgin Media or Sky TV and you get the sports channels because of you want the sports. If you take that away, you're also damaging these companies that paid for these rights to showcase it to you, kind of thing. So obviously it would be beneficial for BT Sport, be severely damaging to Sky, to a Virgin Media, to whoever's showcasing Sky Sports, whoever's showcasing BT Sport, because you've lost arguably the most watched. But
that's the thing. So I think, in my opinion, the Premier League and all the clubs in the Premier League would make more money from it.
Yeah, obviously, but
but the Premier League would make more money for it.
And the clubs.
Yeah, but how about everyone else?
Because obviously they'll need to split the TV rights.
Yeah, but the thing is, so now at the Prem, you pay for PLTV, you watch every Premier League game. Where is Championship games played? This Sky or
It'll be
whatever.
Sky.
What happens if no one's no longer subscribing to Sky? Wouldn't that mean that the Championship then? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I think this is the whole thing we were talking about earlier as well. Like, I think the Premier League, they see themselves as their own entity. You know what I mean? As long as the Premier League's making money, everyone else can go do whatever. You know what I mean? And then that's where it becomes a problem.
Because then eventually it'll be all about them and not about the fans and the consumers.
Well, I'm pretty sure that already is the case, but
let us know what your thoughts are, because we could talk about this for days. I want to see, because I could say something and we could all be in agreement, but you could have a different view. And we love to learn, so just let us know.
And the other thing is, you might have heard of other ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you could have your own ideas as well.
Exactly. But speaking of the Premier League, as we are nearing the end of the podcast, the water went down the wrong hole. The Prem's back this weekend.
Yep.
Thank God for that. So I think what we're going to do today on this podcast, we're going to run through the games. Not going into too much detail about the games. Obviously, you can talk about it a little bit if you want. I just want you to give you lot's opinion on what you think the score's going to be, how it's going to go, and at the end of it all, we're going to help out all the viewers, all the listeners that play FPL. We're going to pick our must-have player for this coming game week. Sound good?
Okay.
Yeah?
Gives me time to actually prepare my team as well.
Exactly. So,
where's my phone?
Let's run through the fixtures. Where is your phone?
Oh, no.
Alright.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I've got a shot.
Do what you need to do. Alright. As Adnan sits himself back down.
Alright. I ain't got no more transfers, but if there's a person I'd want to have it.
Alright, so Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, Everton Liverpool.
Do you want my prediction?
Yes. You can speak a little bit about it if you want.
Either, hear me out, it's going to be a draw, 1-1,
Mm-hmm.
or Everton takes it. Because without Alisson, you never know what can happen to that Liverpool backline. With Calvert-Lewis form, Richarlison, I heard Digne might got a knock though, but I think either Everton are going to take it because they're home, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Everton's at home.
Either they're going to take it or it's going to be a draw like it always is. Because every time Merseyside derby I watch it, it's always a draw.
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
I think
Days.
going by previous,
Look at that, bruv, as well.
going by previous, probably a draw. But looking at how well Everton's been, the amount of goals have been scored in games in the Prem recently as well. I don't know what to expect. I think
Anyone's game, innit?
Yes, it is anyone's game. I do think it'll be a draw, but I think it'll be like a high score, like a 2-2 or maybe a 3-3.
It'll be good because sometimes Merseyside derbies can be a little bit of the boring.
Yeah.
0-0s, 1-0s.
And
So.
you never expect it when you think about it.
But Everton obviously playing good football and Liverpool being Liverpool, hopefully we'll have a blinder.
Yeah.
3 o'clock we've got Chelsea Southampton.
It's obvious.
I'm leaning towards a Chelsea 2-0.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
It
looking-
depends on if, personally, it depends on if Mendy's back. Because if Kepa's in goal, anything can happen. Personally. But I will go for a Chelsea win.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'd be wrong to say it.
Yeah, Chelsea win, unfortunately.
Alright, 5:30 KO, we've got Man City Arsenal. Pep versus Arteta.
I don't know what to expect from that.
I think City
be
will
honest.
take it.
Yeah.
But like Arsenal might get the early goal like they did against Liverpool.
Okay. Still on the fence.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a
I think
funny
anything can happen in that game, especially the way Arsenal's playing, the way City's playing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like one of those games where it'll be like a 1-1 and then someone takes it near the end, or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's either that or someone or City will score 4 or 5.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
literally go either way. And then the final game on the Saturday, 8 o'clock kickoff, we've got Newcastle Manchester United. Considering how bad Manchester
Newcastle
United
1-0.
play. Yeah, considering how bad Man United play.
Saint Maximin signed a new 6-year deal.
6-year deal, yeah.
He's gonna knock you out of the park.
Yeah.
I think Longstaff might get a goal. You know, someone naughty.
Probably. I do. It's gonna.
Either that or United
draw.
will do him
Maybe.
in.
I think a draw. You know.
2 United
Yeah,
or
it's
just
a
a
draw.
But is it a ball draw or do you think there'll be some goals?
Nah.
Oh.
Like a 1-1 or something.
At 8 o'clock on a Saturday.
Steve
Yeah.
Bruce and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'll tell you
where
what.
is it? Newcastle.
Yeah.
He's pissing down with rain.
Oh, mate.
I'm not even gonna probably watch the game.
Oh, mate.
It's either United win 2-0 where Rashford and Martial go crazy, or Newcastle win 1-0.
Fair enough. Alright, so Sunday, midday, Sheffield United vs Fulham. That sounds
I'm not
absolutely
gonna watch that.
horrific. I'm going to be completely honest.
4-0 Sheffield United. Why not?
Draw.
Oh, Fulham. Oh, so you're. So
No, I don't know. I think someone.
That's a proper championship game, innit?
Obviously,
Someone
Fulham
will probably
rock
grab a
bottom.
goal.
Well, they're actually both rock bottom with 0 points, so
What? I didn't know that.
that kind of says it all, innit? So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Sheffield United. If Sheffield United at home.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
Yeah, they might take
they'll
it.
win. Yeah.
fair enough. 2 o'clock, we've got Palace Brighton.
Ooh.
The most fakest.
I'm captain of Mope.
There you go, there's a little.
Yeah.
Brighton's win there.
Yeah? You think away from home, be Palace? Fair enough.
If Lanty's there, yeah.
4:30, we've got Spurs West Ham. Could be a good game. West Ham obviously picking up results
London
recently.
derby.
Spurs coming off that 6-1 muling over United.
Yeah, it depends on.
Spurs will win it.
Wait, is Moyes back on the touchline? That's the real question.
I don't know, you know.
Because if he's not, I've got West Ham to win.
Has
Honestly.
it been 2 weeks?
I think it's been 2 weeks.
Oh, Tottenham will win. If he weren't there, I'm pretty sure West Ham would have done a job, guaranteed.
Fair enough.
I think Spurs will win it.
Yeah. Especially at home, innit?
Yeah.
Harry
Bale's
Kane,
back as well.
Best player in the league. Is it?
He's been training.
Ooh, that could be a must watch. Bell maybe, FPL.
I saw some of the shots he was putting in trade. I can't lie.
Yeah, he's
I can't.
Bad boy.
Guys, I can't lie. You see Son, Bale and Kit, I can't lie.
Scary
It's
hours.
mad. It's mad.
And then the last kickoff of the Sunday is Leicester City, Aston Villa.
That's a good game.
That's a
That's a good game.
That is
That's
a
my
good
favourite game of the weekend.
That's a good game. My only issue is
that would be
good. Leicester at home could be a bit. I know Villa beat Liverpool 7-2, but I think Leicester at home might be a bit.
They lost 3-0 to West Ham at home.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know, and they have to pick up on recent results.
Leicester will. I don't know.
I got Vardy in my team, right? But I ain't got no chances. Like, he would have been out, honestly.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing much. The only thing he convinced me, he faked that performance against City and went crazy. He went crazy, but I Aston Villa, the form they're in, the confidence they're in, it's a good game. I don't want to say they're gonna win.
Yeah, it is. I think it'll be a good game.
I'll definitely be tuned in.
Do you know what's my only problem is if it's a good game without goals. I'm one of those people that it can be a good game.
Leeds versus City, like when it was 1-1.
I don't mind not having any goals if it's a good tactical game.
I don't know, bro. For me,
like France, Portugal.
Yeah, like the fact it was goalless kind of took away some of the whole, like the it factor in it. Like I know it was a good game, but you kind of want someone to.
Yeah, of course,
You know
but
what I mean?
like a real true football fan who loves football.
Would appreciate this. The caginess.
I don't know.
To see how it works, it's probably
don't know.
good. It'll probably be some very shit football played, but you just never know.
You got Ross Barkley in that team now.
Ross Barkley, Grealish,
Yeah.
Ollie Watkins up front. It's a mad thing.
Oh, I wish. I think that's my pick for who to have in the team.
Okay.
Well, Ollie.
Yeah.
And then Monday we also have 2 kickoffs. 5:30 West Brom Burnley. Bro,
That should be a pay-per-view. You can also watch it.
that one there. Listen, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
If you want to watch it, you have to pay for that because honestly, who wants to watch that?
14.99.
However, I do think West Brom's like creative players might have a lot to say in that game. So like Pereira, Diangana, I think they might surprise a little bit. Whether or not they'll win, only God knows. I don't know how to predict a game like that. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah.
I'm not good at predicting stuff anyway. But boy, West Brom, Burnley, God.
I'm not predicting games I don't care about. Honestly, no, I'm not gonna watch it.
And then the final game of this Premier League game week is the 8 o'clock kickoff. Leeds Wolves.
That's a good game.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Leeds win. Wolves not playing great. Leeds playing well. 1-1 draw to City.
Should I play Bamford or keep swapping for Saka? Because Saka's got City away.
Oh, in theory, I don't know.
Because last time I left Saka on the bench, he got 7 points against Sheffield United.
Listen, mate, I don't know. It's completely up to you.
Choosing the name Sheffield United. See.
I'll bench boost it.
So after our attempt of predicting our games, let's help the FPL men them out. Who is your must-have player for this game week before we close off the pod?
I'd say Ollie Watkins.
Yeah?
I feel like he's a confidence player, and for you to put what you put past Van Dijk, there's no defence in the one. If that was me, in my mindset, there's no defence that will stop me for the time being. Whoever I'm playing, I'm scoring. I scored against Van Dijk. What are you going to do to stop me?
Fair enough. That's a good point. It's a very good point. Who's your must-have?
Ollie, I must have. I don't have.
I think Son would be one.
But there's a few. So you could have Son. You could have Bell. You could have Ollie Watkins.
Wow.
You could have someone like a Rodrigo for Leeds.
Yeah, he could potentially build off that last game against
like
City.
a Click as well.
Oh, Click is a good shout.
I think
Cameras.
yeah.
Hammers against Liverpool.
Yeah. Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, I think
Salah.
Calvert-Lewin is probably on a lot of people's teams, to be fair.
Thiago. Salah.
Yeah. So if you had to pick one,
I'm gonna go over Rodrigo this
Yeah,
week.
Rodrigo,
Yeah. I'm not. I don't think Wolves are gonna cut it
See,
against him.
I'm gonna follow you lot's lead. I'm going to pick a striker. If you've got the funds, I'd say Kane. I think Kane against West Ham probably will bag, if not assist. Especially if Bell's in that team, the outlets are crazy. I do think any of the front three, especially if Bell plays, Bell, Kane, Son will probably be in a lot of people's teams. And my kind of like odd pick is, I think Werner's bagging this weekend. I know we say this every week.
I hope, but I ain't in my team. I just hope.
We say this every week, but I do think Werner's scoring this weekend at home.
I'd have it. He's gonna score too.
Coming off the international break. coming off the international break, obviously having scored, I do think it's time for him to now start scoring goals. So I think one of the Tottenham boys or Werner, I think, is my pick. I know it's mad picking Werner.
If you're thinking defender, my choice for you is Reguilon. He's going up the gears, and I thought he'd get an assist, especially with that front three.
Yeah, could be a
West
shot.
Ham's gonna score at least one.
In Dombele. I'm in love with Tottenham right now. I can't lie, they're a good team to watch right
A
now.
Chelsea fan has just said that he's in love with
I
Tottenham.
don't like it.
I like watching it. I tell you what, I think the end is nigh because me watching Mourinho ball is entertaining, and it's like it's all of a sudden I'm in 2004 again.
Yeah, could be a potential one-off though. That game against United.
Nah.
I think they're going to carry on the good form.
For the time being, no, I'm not going to say for the rest of the season, but like,
Yeah.
Don't forget, I know obviously we talked about that game last time, but they didn't play amazing even though United was shit.
Yeah.
They played good.
Yeah.
They just capitalised off their
West
mistakes.
Ham, aren't they? Against that low block, I don't know, but that's what you get Bell for. Bell can shoot from
Even
anywhere.
if he comes off the bench,
Yeah.
if Bell comes off the bench and adds something extra to that team, there will be a problem.
Yeah.
There'll be a big problem. But
So you're thinking Rodrigo then, yeah?
I think so.
why?
No,
I thought he was trying to make some transfers real quick.
Nah, I ain't got no
Exactly what he's doing. Look,
No, I ain't gonna transfers. I ain't gonna transfers.
he's gonna make a second account.
But guys, once again, we've reached the end of the podcast. I know it. You know, we're honest on this show. We didn't have the bestest of topics to talk about, but we spoke, which was the most important thing. What's this?
So, to back Clyde's point, on the Fantasy Premier League Twitter, they said the scout has his eye on an in-form Harry Kane. So if you're thinking attacker, get him in.
And on that note, guys, thank you once again. We'll be back next week. And I don't know. Do you want to add anything else?
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah, no, international football, there's no energy. After the Prem, we'll see you soon.
My people, them love you once again. Seasons Pod. We're out.
See you next week.